Mm.
Oh, the blackjack one?
Yeah, where he was there till he fell asleep at the table.
Nice.
So you just like fell asleep at the table, or
Dude, so I wasn't at the table when I like came to. I wasn't at the table. I was in some random slot machine.
at the oil?
I really don't know what happened.
Welcome back to the most unprofessional sports podcast in the world. This is Swivel Chair Sports. I'm your host, Zach Circle Burkle. Oh, that was on target too. Here are my
short.
co-hosts, Aaron and Siege. Go ahead and say hi, guys.
Hi, guys. Man, I haven't talked to you guys in like 6 months.
Yeah, I know. We keep you locked in the basement until we need to. So, all right. So, talk a little football, mainly football, really only football. NFL, college, both of them. A lot going on right now. We're a little late to start the season, but we'll see how all the teams in the NFL and college football are doing, and I guess go from there. Honestly, we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants here this episode. It's first time in a while. We don't have Joe to steer the ship. Miss you, Joe. See you next episode. But
R.I.P. Joe.
R.I.P. No, he's
He's not dead. He's just done.
yeah, no, he's not dead. He's just not here. Doing parent teacher conferences. He teaches the America's Youth. So shout out to him. But how about we go ahead and start with some college football? Aaron, what have you seen so far this year as far as college football goes? Obviously, Georgia still kind of running things as far as that goes, but some other teams, not SEC related, Pac-12 having a really good year this season. What have you seen this year as far as like college football goes? Just to give us some sort of jumping off point, because I'm just rambling here.
I think kind of like the main stories, headlines of the season are the Pac-12 has some really good quarterbacks. Everybody's kind of saying the SEC is having a down year because some of the great teams like Alabama and Georgia aren't showing exactly what they've been in the past. And I think we might have a little vacuum coming out of the ACC that they're not necessarily as, some of their top teams aren't necessarily what they've been in the past with Clemson.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Clemson specifically has been having a real down year as far as their standards go. SEC as a whole having a pretty down year. Some teams overachieving. Mizzou. uh, but there are definitely a lot of teams that are underperforming this year. Tennessee was supposed to be really good. They're disappointing. Florida's been pretty disappointing this year. LSU's been real disappointing this year. Gosh, I forgot what about you, Siege? What have you seen so far? Being a resident, I guess, since you're a TCU fan, Big 12 guy. Obviously, OU's having a really good year. Texas lost to them, but other than that, they're having a pretty solid year. What have you seen over there?
The Big 12 it's kind of gone back to what it used to be. OU and Texas kind of at the top, which is a good sign for them when they're headed to the SEC next year. Big 12
Just means more.
Yeah, it just means more. If Mizzou's playing well, then it doesn't mean that much.
We haven't played the tough teams yet. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, that
Those
too.
coming up.
No, I mean, the Big 12 is just one of those scrappy leagues that kind of the middle of the pack is just beating up on each other. So OU and Texas have definitely made themselves kind of the top dogs, the clear-cut top dogs in this conference this year, as opposed to last year when it was kind of it was K-State and TCU. It was just kind of a weird year. But no, I think OU showed a lot in themselves with that last drive against Texas. What was that, like a week and a half ago, at the Cotton Bowl, and they kind of showed their true colors that they're not afraid, they're not going to shy away. They look completely different with Dylan Gabriel and kind of more maturing from last year, and they were just a little bit young last year. Didn't lose too many guys. This year they have a lot of reps under the belt, and they look like a completely different team. Danny Stutzman, he's a dog. Linebacker, he's an absolute dog. That speech he gave before the game was pretty sweet. But no, I think OU, as long as they don't slip up to one of these weird teams like they have UCF this weekend at home, 11 o'clock game. That could be one where, coming off the Texas game, luckily they had a bye week last week. But I wouldn't be surprised if UCF came out in the first half and kind of shook them up a little bit. I don't think it's going to be anything that they need to worry about, but I think it'll be interesting to see how they manage games against lesser opponents for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Big 12, obviously, kind of being, like you said, ruled by Oklahoma and Texas, kind of like back to the good old days, as some would call it. But I guess the big story, as I kind of alluded to earlier, has been the Pac-12 this year. But one of the biggest, I guess, questions now going into the rest of the season, and really we probably won't see them make the playoffs at this point. USC losing to Notre Dame this past week, dropping 8 spots now from 10 to 18. Obviously that's a huge blow for them. Basically eliminates any playoff hopes they had, in my eyes. What do you see there, Aaron? Do you think that basically is it for? I mean, not it for USC season. Obviously, they still have a bowl game to play for and all that stuff. But it seems like they're kind of out of the playoff picture. Am I wrong by thinking that?
Do they have like a conference tournament, like playoff thing, like the SEC does, where the East and West champions match up?
I don't know.
Like a conference champion, or
I don't know if they have.
I believe they just have a championship game.
Yeah. Do they have a championship
okay.
game?
I could see the winner of that. So I wouldn't say necessarily that they're out of the college football playoff. I mean, I think if they win that, then they've proven that they're good enough to go to the college football playoff, because they'll have to face a good either Oregon or Washington team, because they're both really. That was a really good game last weekend. I don't think this is necessarily spells doom for their season as far as college football playoff. I mean, my question would be, does it spell doom for Caleb Williams' Heisman bid?
Yeah, it was by far his worst game since he's been at USC, probably since he's been in college, period, to be honest. And obviously there's a lot of competition this year as far as the Heisman's concerned. What do you think about that, Siege? Do you think this is basically it for Caleb Williams as far as the Heisman goes?
I wouldn't say it's doom for him. The only thing that troubles me with that is they still have Utah, Oregon State, Oregon, and Washington ahead of them in the AP poll right now. Oregon obviously has the one loss to Washington, but that was a very close game, decided by a missed field goal. You have Oregon State already has one loss, Utah already has one loss, and then you have USC with one loss, but they're the lowest ranked team out of all those Pac-12 teams. So my issue is if those teams stay ahead and they don't drop below one loss, obviously one of those teams will have to have 2 losses, because I think they play each other. I don't know who plays who, but my thing is, if USC doesn't stay undefeated from here on out, will they even make the Pac-12 championship game and give Caleb Williams a chance to prove himself again in that championship environment? So that's kind of my issue. If they don't make the Pac-12 championship game, I would say his Heisman hopes are not necessarily done. He'll probably still make it to New York, but I don't necessarily know that he will win. You got another really good quarterback in Martin Penix Jr., and he's...
What's his name?
Martin Penix.
Michael Penix? Is it Michael Penix?
Martin something.
Hey, he's got
all I know is he's...
No, I'm not afraid to say it. He's got big Penix energy.
Listen, the number on his jersey probably stands for something. Okay, number 9. But no, and the clip of him freestyling before that, their last drive was pretty cool too, to beat Oregon. I don't know. I think there's quarterbacks in that conference that are just as good as Caleb Williams, if not better, with uh, number 9 at Washington. But
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, like you said, USC has a lot of teams in front of them as far as Pac-12 goes. Notre Dame's ahead of them now as far as rankings go, and maybe not so much standings. They do have one more loss than USC, but then you got Oregon State, who's ahead of them as far as rankings go, have the same record. Oregon, right up there as well. And then obviously you got Washington, like you said. Those teams are all ahead of them right now. It's going to be tough for USC to get over them to get to that Pac-12 championship game. But and then Utah, I forgot about them as well.
yeah, there's
So
4 teams above them.
yeah, that's a tough mountain to climb. Um, do you think this is going to be Caleb Williams' last season in college football? I know it's kind of early to say that now, but and he's obviously he can go to the draft if he wants to. He's talked about whether or not he wants to stay behind if the wrong teams maybe at number 1. They're in the draft order. But what do you think, Aaron? Do you think one way or the other this is Caleb's last year, or do you think if he do you think he's serious about this being like, if the right team's not there, I'm not going?
I mean, I definitely think he's serious, but it's, what team would actually force him? I know he put out a list of teams that he would want to go to, but like what team would force him to, not want to be drafted? I think that's a very short list of absolutely disaster organizations that he wouldn't actually want to go to.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's going to be the issue with picking number 1, right? Is it's going to be
Browns.
Really, really
the
bad
Bears.
team. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's probably going to be like
yeah, but some of these organizations are picking, one frequently versus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Since we're here, though, talking college football, let's talk Missouri Tigers.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah. I had to. We're finally good. It's been a while since we've
awfully
been
quiet about us last year.
We weren't doing much to write home about last year. We were pretty bad. We did give Georgia everything they could have wanted, though. We almost beat them last year, so I've got high hopes of us maybe upsetting them here next week. But let's talk about South Carolina. Let's not overlook South Carolina. We got the Gamecocks this weekend. Spencer Rattler, I believe, right? Unless he hasn't got okay. Making sure he didn't get benched again.
No, he's been playing good. He's been playing good there.
Well, the record's
all
bad.
year and a half.
The record's not great. I think they're like 2-5, if I'm not mistaken.
South Carolina?
I think so. 2-5 or 3-4.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
2-5.
2-4. 2-4.
2-4. Oh, they had their bye already.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they've got 3 decent losses.
Who are their losses?
North Carolina week 1, Georgia week 3, Tennessee, and Florida.
Tennessee's tough, yeah. See, that's the problem.
Knows what Florida is.
That was going to be my next question. Is what do you think of the stretch we got coming up? We got the Gamecocks this weekend, and then Georgia, Tennessee, Florida. Boom, boom, boom. Like that's a tough 3-game stretch right there. Assuming we even beat South Carolina, of course. What's your
I'd say
ceiling?
this is a tough 4-game stretch because South Carolina is not a slouch.
Yeah.
Florida is they're like Kentucky. Who knows what they actually are game to game? They just change.
Right. Well, and then don't forget about Arkansas. They always play us tough because they're our rival. I suppose we win more often than not, but they'll give us a fight. I'd imagine. So I mean we got a tough 5 games.
Arkansas gave Alabama a fight.
Arkansas has been in 4 one-score games and lost all of them so far.
So their record's not even like Their record's not even like
No, they have.
how bad they are. Okay.
No.
So yeah, that's concerning. So yeah, I guess you could say we have a rough 5-game stretch to wrap up the season. But I mean, now that I look back at it, we've played some tough teams to this far. We should have beat LSU. That one I'm really upset about. If we would have beat them, we'd be probably flirting with the 15 spot. Beat a solid Kentucky team, or at least a sometimes solid Kentucky team. K-State, who was supposed to be good, even though they weren't, but they were supposed to be good. Yeah,
Played a lot of close games.
It has. It has.
We've played a lot of close games that shouldn't be close.
I mean, yeah, Memphis probably should have been a little bit bigger win. I thought the one game we'd trip up on would be Vanderbilt because we always somehow fucking lose to Vanderbilt.
We don't always somehow lose to Vanderbilt. We lost to them like no, I think it was 2 years ago.
It was when Drew
last year or 2 years ago.
It was the last time we were ranked, I think. We lost to Vanderbilt.
No, we lost to Middle Tennessee when Drew was here.
Hey, we beat them this year. By 4. What are your expectations this last 5 games? What do you think will go? Like, what do you think our final record's going to be when it's all said and done?
I think we beat South Carolina, Florida, and Arkansas. I think we lose to Georgia, and I'm on the fence about Tennessee. I could see us beating Tennessee, but I could also see us tripping up and just not showing up. Because if we showed up like we did in the first quarter against Kentucky, we're going to get blown out by Tennessee.
Yeah. What if we win all 5? Then what do you think happens?
Well, then we'd have a SEC title shot and potential college football playoff berth on the line. But we talked about this early in the season. You asked me before the season started. I said, worst case, I see us going like 5 wins. And best case, I see us with like 1 loss.
Yeah, but you didn't think that loss would be LSU. You thought it'd be Georgia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the tough one, is we lost to LSU. God,
I could see it being... I didn't think it would be LSU. I thought it would be Georgia or Tennessee.
I'm not going to lie. I could have seen us beating everybody. For whatever reason, Vanderbilt scares me, man.
You are delusional.
A little bit. Maybe. If we have anybody new watching, I was a big Daniel Jones fan last time we were around.
That should say.
And that did not go well.
That should speak volumes.
Well, what do you think, Siege? How do you feel about Missouri? Have you watched much of us this year?
I haven't sat down and necessarily watched any of the games, but from what I've seen, it seems like they're a pretty scrappy team. They don't get themselves in bad situations. They usually they keep the games close when they can, right? They're never going to be out of a game. They're never going to be out of a game. That's what I've seen.
The players will take us out of a game. Our coach
will
get us
take us out of
a delay of game penalty to back us up to a 62-yard field goal.
Bro, I can't believe our kicker saved our coach's job. I think with that make. I think if he misses that kick, I think the season goes downhill from there. We lose every game after that. Drinkwitz gets fired at the end of the season.
When does Ms. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I think if he did not make that record-breaking kick, I think our coach would be on the way out.
Despite us extending him last year.
Sure.
When do y'all play Georgia?
Next week. So we got South Carolina this weekend. Next week.
So I think that game's going to be a lot closer than people are expecting.
I agree.
Bowers is out.
One big reason is Bowers is out for 4 to 6 weeks at least because he had tightrope surgery on his ankle or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that could play into y'all's favor just from the standpoint of y'all don't have to necessarily worry about that good of a tight end in the game at all times. Like obviously they're gonna have next man up, but like you don't have to worry about Bowers being out there just being a menace on the field for the full game, which is nice.
Yeah.
And we really struggled against K-State's tight end when we played them. He went off on us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that could play into y'all's favor big time in that game.
Well, I'm a big vibes guy. If y'all haven't noticed, so for whatever reason, Missouri always plays Georgia pretty tough for the most part. I feel really good about at least being competitive, and I think that'll show a lot. To even if we lose, maybe keep us ranked after, hopefully, beating South Carolina this week. Of course, I guess if we beat no, we shouldn't move up really if we beat South Carolina this week, assuming everybody else does their job, right, Aaron?
Well, I think it depends. I mean,
Yeah.
You
how
have
everybody else looks, how we look.
You also have Alabama and Tennessee playing each other, so whoever loses that game will drop below y'all if you win.
Yeah.
I don't know if Alabama will drop.
I don't know if I was about to say I don't know if
No, Alabama
Tennessee
will.
would. Tennessee would.
I think
sure.
people are finally understanding that Alabama is not the Alabama that we're used to. Like they lost to Texas, that was their only loss, but they haven't looked good all year. They haven't looked like a national championship contending team or even an SEC title contender right now. So they're not. They don't look as good as they have. So if they lose to Tennessee this weekend, I think they drop quite a bit.
Is Georgia the only competition we really have? Assuming we beat the other teams outside of Georgia, they're the only competition we really have in our side of the SEC, right, Aaron? Like we don't have Bama or anybody like that.
No, they're in the East.
Yeah, it's like Georgia, Florida.
Or West.
We have Georgia, Florida, us.
Which doesn't make much sense because y'all
I
are the
have
most
no
Western
idea why
team
we're in that.
besides
We're
A&M.
in the West or the East. We're in the East.
We're in the East.
Makes no sense because we're the westernmost SEC team, but whatever.
Besides A&M.
Yeah.
Besides A&M, yeah. But sure, fine. Keeps us out of Bama's division, so I'm fine with that, I guess. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. It's been so long since I've seen like a Missouri team that that's like enjoyable to watch. Like even the Drew Lock teams, to be honest, were not fun to watch because they'd make stupid mistakes that they shouldn't make. Maybe it's because the expectations were a lot higher with that team. But like this is the most fun I've had watching Missouri football since Chase Daniel and Jeremy Maclin and Tony Temple. Do you feel that way, Aaron? Like, or am I just like
No? I think our first year, if I remember correctly, in the SEC was a complete disaster, and then
it was bad,
we went
but the second season was awesome.
We went to back-to-back SEC championship games.
Yep.
So
with
back then with Michael Sam, Franklin, Shane Ray, that defense was good, and the offense was serviceable.
Yeah.
The other game that you guys should pay attention to this week, just for like Missouri's sake. Sorry, my camera's off. But is Utah USC, because Utah's number 14, USC's number 18, so that would be big for you guys. Especially if USC lost, just because they're a little bit closer to y'all in the rankings. Right. And I would just love to see Caleb Williams and Lincoln Riley fail. But
Penn State, Ohio State, they both play.
Yeah, man, I'm so mad we lost to LSU, bro. If we didn't lose to them, I really do think we'd be like right around 15. That's so frustrating. Because that's we should have beat that. We should have beat LSU. We had it and then we lost it.
I don't know that we had it.
It felt to me we had it at one
point.
Yeah,
in like the first half, and the second half rolled around, and then we couldn't stop a running quarterback. Shocker. Yeah, the reason we lost to Navy like 10 years ago in a bowl game.
I was about to say that's like
triple
a
option.
MO is not being able to stop running quarterbacks. So
we couldn't stop the run game or a running quarterback. So
well, I guess since we've talked college football to death, let's go ahead and move on to the NFL, and then we'll wrap it after that. But, oh, crap. Okay, I'll figure it out here in a second. I need to find a sports fact. I almost forgot. Yeah, I almost forgot about that. But moving on to the NFL, what are your thoughts? Because I am so confused. I don't know what teams are good and what teams are bad. The bad teams are beating the good teams, and the good teams are losing to the bad teams, and the mediocre teams are playing each other. I don't know what's going on, Aaron. Siege, have you kept up with the NFL much?
No, the Dolphins are fun to watch though.
The Dolphins are fun to watch. Tyreek Hill's going crazy. He might break the receiving yard record, and the touchdown record for that matter, because he's already at like double digits, I believe.
The Dolphins are fun to watch, and I've watched every Chiefs game because my girlfriend watches every Chiefs game now. So
Hey.
she is part of the problem. She bought
Shout out Taylor Swift.
One of us.
she bought a Travis Kelce jersey. She's one of them.
Did she go see the movie?
Oh, she's seen it twice already.
I haven't seen the Kelce
4 days
movie.
or whatever.
Or the Taylor Swift movie? Which one are you talking about?
Yeah, the Taylor Swift movie.
Okay. Because there's a Kelce documentary too.
Not the Kelsey documentary. Yeah.
Because I haven't seen that yet. Either. But yeah, the NFL's been weird this year. I don't know what to think, other than the Chiefs are somehow still winning games in ugly fashion, which is fine, I guess, until the playoffs. Well, I mean, even if you win ugly during the playoffs, it's fine. Now that I'm looking at
Lots of field goals last weekend. Lots of missed field goals last weekend.
Yeah, a lot of bad quarterback play too around the league. Really, nobody played like super great on offense. Defense seems to be the name of the game this year. It's well, unless you're a Denver Broncos fan, then there's none of that to be found. But
You need shit talk over. It's not like we play him again.
I mean, I'm not really concerned because they gave up 70 points.
You're right, and that 70 points was to us. Our offense looked great against them.
No, but our offense hasn't looked good all year, and we're still winning. I mean, to be honest, we should be undefeated. If we're being honest, we should be undefeated. The Lions game was weird. I mean, every game has been weird as far as the Chiefs go this year. Other than
Are you one of those guys that won't admit that the Lions are good?
No, I absolutely believe the Lions are good. I think the Chiefs are better. We should have won that game. We only lost by one.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's why you play the game.
I guess. But no, I think the Lions are good. I think they're top. They might be my second best team in the NFC, behind the Niners, because we know how much of an Eagles hater I am.
Really? I thought you had the Giants up there at number 2.
Listen, man. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, no, it's been a rough year for Daniel Jones and the New York Giants.
You don't have the Bucks up there?
I think they'll win the division. I think I think Baker Mayfield's solid. But no, I don't see them being one of the top 2 teams in the NFC. No, I think the Lions are number 2 for sure, though.
What about them boys? You not high on them boys?
Dak Prescott's been pretty bad. The defense has been shaky since Trevon Diggs. Is that right?
Trevon Diggs, yeah.
Since he went down. So no, and honestly, Cowboys are gonna cowboy. So I think in the end they're gonna do what they do. The Lions are probably gonna poop out in the playoffs because they have no experience. But as of right now, I do think the Detroit Lions are the second best.
You're right. Jared Goff's only been he went to a Super Bowl, didn't he?
He did. But the rest of the team, for the most part, pretty inexperienced as far as playoffs go. As far as the AFC is concerned, I have no freaking idea what to think of that. Chiefs have been up and down, mostly, honestly, down, even though they're winning games.
I wouldn't say we're down. I'd say we're meh. I mean, our offense hasn't been what everybody kind of is used to, but our defense is so much better than it's been.
I'm a big fan of Rashee Rice.
Yeah. He had some drops that I was kind of irritated with early in the season, but just get on that jugs machine.
Yeah. As far as the AFC South goes, AFC South is really weird. I think Anthony Richardson is going to be really good one day. I just hope he can stay healthy. I was about to say, I just hope he can play more than 7 games a season, because that's what he's on pace to play right now. I feel like.
Not even. He's done for the season.
Is he out for the year? They said that officially.
I'm pretty sure they opted for surgery.
That's unfortunate because he was my dark horse rookie of the year candidate. But I mean, well, he was at the beginning. It was
always Stroud. It was always Stroud.
I mean, Stroud is well. I mean, I guess we're in the AFC South, so yeah, Stroud has looked really good this year. He looks like best quarterback of the draft class, maybe at this point.
Not saying I said it, but I said it.
He looks incredible. He looks like the step up from college to NFL has not fazed him whatsoever. I believe he broke the record for most consecutive pass attempts without an interception to start a career, which is incredible. And the AFC South is weird, so maybe Houston can sneak into the playoffs this year. Jacksonville only has a 1-game advantage over them at this point in time, but they are starting to turn it around with Trevor Lawrence and that offense starting to get humming now. So I do expect Jacksonville to finish out. I thought the Colts maybe had a sneaky chance, but if Anthony Richardson is out for the year, then yeah, it's probably Jacksonville's division to lose at this point.
Minshew mania.
Maybe. I mean, he hasn't looked the same this year as he did during that magical run a few years ago. So I don't have a whole lot of confidence that he'll be able to turn that ship around. I do like Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor, though, as a dual backfield threat there in Indianapolis. Mainly because I have Zach Moss on both my fantasy teams now, so I really need to enjoy him. I need him to, continue to be good. I literally got both of them as soon, right after or right before Jonathan Taylor signed that extension, so that was great. I thought Jonathan Taylor might be out for the year. Yeah, probably not now, considering he's already back. But yeah, I guess what are your thoughts on the AFC South? Any thoughts?
I mean, I think it's kind of surprising how solid the Texans have looked since they were a complete disaster last year.
Yeah.
I mean, even losing the number 1 overall pick, that's how bad they were.
Yeah. They couldn't even do that right.
I mean, other than that, yeah, there's not much to say. I think everybody's kind of shocked at how disappointing the Titans look.
Yes and no, because obviously the Titans saw it coming when they traded away A.J. Brown. I think that the Tannehill decline has definitely caught some people off guard. It caught me off guard. I didn't think he'd be this bad. He fell off.
Well, I mean, who does he have to throw to?
That's true too, I suppose.
They put their whole stock in Derrick Henry, and
yeah,
he's a great running back, but he's an aging running back, so he's not going to be able to carry the whole offense that much longer, especially for an entire season.
Well, and Julio Jones just signed. I guess he left he got waived a while ago or something. I don't know what the heck happened, but he's with Philly now. So
yeah,
yeah. I guess I think they're probably going to end up going with what's his face out of Purdue or wherever. What's his name? The backup quarterback? Maybe not Purdue.
For Tennessee?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Will Levis.
Kentucky. Out of Kentucky. Not Purdue.
Not Purdue. Same thing. They're both the same colors, right? Purple or blue and gold. Yeah.
Black and gold?
Black and gold, blue and white. Yeah, same exact thing.
Pretty close.
Come on, don't you remember his girlfriend on draft night?
No.
Gia Duddy?
I knew he did.
I know who Will Levis is.
Moving on to another dog fight in the AFC. We got the AFC North. Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson leading the pack right now with.
It's a shit show as usual.
It is, yeah. It's a disaster up there up north. It is really weird, as usual. The bad teams are beating the good teams. The good teams are beating the bad teams. We don't know what teams are good, what teams are bad, what teams are medium. We have no idea. But the Ravens are leading the pack barely by half a game over the Kenny Pickett-led Pittsburgh Steelers, whose offense is a complete dumpster fire. But that defense is really
hilarious
solid.
How bad that offense is.
That offense is incredibly bad.
Like, how good that defense is.
It is so frustrating to watch that offense because it is so freaking bad. It is infuriating to watch.
That defense has straight up literally won them 2 games.
Yeah, that defense is incredible. The defense for the Pittsburgh Steelers is absolutely outstanding. The offense might go down as it's insane because we've got about like 5 or 6 different teams that may have the worst offense in NFL history this season, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are one of them. So, but
it's a shame we don't have Joe here to have him rant about his team.
Yeah, I know. I'd love to hear a Pittsburgh Steelers fan's point of view. And then we have the Cleveland Browns, who Deshaun Watson plays like half the time, and then another half the time he doesn't want to play, and he's also a potential. I'm not going to say it. But what the heck? Like, is Cleveland good? I don't know if Cleveland's good because I mean, Nick Chubb's out for the year. Yeah, they brought Kareem Hunt back. I don't know how well he's been doing. I haven't really been paying attention. Deshaun Watson's been out for the last three games or something like that, but I think they did just beat like the Niners, right?
With PJ Walker, is that who it was?
Yeah, with PJ Walker, yeah. So I have no idea. That again, the defense is incredible. The offense has not been very good this year, especially since Nick Chubb's went down. So it's basically, and then you got the Bengals at the bottom, whose offense is just now starting to get going. Defense probably isn't very solid. I mean, I can't imagine it's very good when you have that many good players on offense. But I mean, the AFC North is weird. Who do you have coming out of there right now?
This is the same story with the Bengals we've had for the past 3 seasons. Joe Burrow doesn't get a training camp. He comes in, they have a slow start, and they start picking it up, and they finish the end of the season hot. Yeah. That's kind of what I would expect. I mean, assuming he stays healthy,
right,
and continues with that. I'm guessing his calf is fully healed, considering I haven't heard anything about it.
So I just traded for him on fantasy.
Yeah, that was a bold trade.
Did you not like it?
I mean, I think it's got the higher upside, but it's a little more risky.
Yeah. Okay, good. That's fine. I said screw it. So I traded Devontae Smith, Josh Jacobs, and Justin Herbert for Joe Burrow, Stephon Diggs, and Devontae Williams, the Detroit running back. I had to keep telling myself as I was about to hit the button, you get Stephon Diggs, you get Stephon Diggs, you get Stephon Diggs. Just hit the button, you get Stephon Diggs. Like, I know Burrow and Herbert are about a wash, but Stephon Diggs is way more consistent than Devontae Smith, and it's basically a 2-for-1, which I was willing to do at Devontae Smith and Josh Jacobs for Stephon and Javonte Williams. But, yeah. I hope Burrow's calf's healthy because I put a lot of faith in him by accepting that trade. He counter-offered me, and that's what he sent me, and I was like, screw it. But yeah.
Yeah, I think the Bengals come out of there.
I think so too. They're only, I think, a game.
I think the Ravens make a wild card.
Yeah, that would be my 2 teams as well if 2 were to come out. But who knows? Maybe the Jets get a wild card up in the AFC East. The frisky Jets, huh? The frisky Jets. How do you feel about the Jets, Aaron? You like the Jets?
Got a good defense. Hey, honestly, Wilson's showing a lot more promise than I thought he would.
He's a lot cooler under pressure than I think people were going to give him credit.
They just need him to not turn the ball over.
Yeah, exactly.
And
game manager.
Hand the ball off to Breece Hall.
Exactly. Yeah. Game manager. That's all you need. Obviously, Miami and the Bills are the teams to talk about in the AFC East. Miami, like you said, Siege, really fun to watch. What have you seen?
I've just seen Tyreek
Touchdowns.
running fast. I've seen Tyreek running fast. That's what I've seen.
Running fast, doing backflips
Yeah.
with fans' phones.
Yeah.
Jumping in the stands, celebrating like he's a fan
Yeah.
after a
Yeah.
freaking 60-yard touchdown.
Giving a football to his mama.
Yeah, they're just fun to watch, dude. And I like Mike McDaniels. He's fun.
Yeah.
Mic'd
Yeah.
up and everything. Dude, he's just fun. They're just fun. They're fun.
And they still get Jalen Ramsey back some point for that defense.
The Dolphins are scary. We'll see how the Chiefs match up against them here in a couple weeks, I think, in Germany. Isn't it week 9? Something like that.
Hope Tua doesn't break a D lineman's arm.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah, because he's been doing that jujitsu.
Oh. Yeah. No, I don't know what you're talking about, but who's been doing jujitsu?
It's been a kind of a joke on the Pat McAfee show that they want him to like avoid a sack and then like put a D lineman in an arm bar.
Oh. Oh, that's funny. The Bills have looked weird. Almost as weird as the Chiefs have looked, but not quite as weird as we.
It's like Josh Allen is taking a step back to like 2 years ago.
Yeah, he's very like
Mm-hmm.
very this right now. So, I have no idea.
You think there's any where there's smoke, there's fire with the relationship between him and Diggs?
I don't think so. Diggs is having such a good year. Excuse me. I don't think so. Diggs is having such a good year that it seems like their relationship is just fine. Of course, I mean, I guess if he's your best player, you're gonna throw to him. But no, I don't think there's. I think that happened. There hasn't really been anything that came out since like before the season, right?
Well, he's been frustrated on the sidelines.
Oh, has he?
I'm pretty sure like last game or 2 games ago, he smashed a Surface tablet.
Yeah, that happens.
It's a Surface tablet. Of course you're gonna smash it.
Yeah. Exactly. No, I don't think there's anything. Again, I hope not because I just traded for him. so I'm assuming.
Everything comes back to fantasy.
I'm assuming he's fine because I just traded for him. Duh. No. I think they're fine. I don't know. I think they're just the little brother in the AFC, so they better get used to getting beat around because that's all that's going to happen to them for the next decade. You know, whether it's
mean again, like they didn't get beat around with the Patriots?
Well, whether it's that too. I'm just saying, no. Whether it's us, whether it's the Bengals, whether it's the Dolphins now, whether it's the Ravens, maybe. I don't think the Bills are ever gonna, get to the Super Bowl. I don't think Josh Allen will ever make it to the Super Bowl.
You think he's the problem?
No, I mean, I think he's part of the problem. I just don't think he's good enough. Is all.
Okay. Do you think he's not good enough, period, or do you think he's not good enough to beat Mahomes?
To beat those specific guys, those teams, right now, at least. Like the way the Dolphins are constructed, I don't think they can beat them, even though I think they did. But
the Bills?
Yeah, I think they did beat them this year. But when it matters.
Yep, they're one loss.
I mean,
rather handily, I might add.
Yeah, it wasn't close. I forgot about that one. But Tua needs time to grow. He's still young. They've already shown they can't beat the Bengals or the Chiefs in the playoffs. So that's a fact.
I don't like how smug you are.
It's a fact. I mean, I don't know what you want.
This feels like it's going back to
the Bills
to
have
bite
never.
You in the ass.
Josh Allen has never beaten the Kansas City Chiefs or the Cincinnati Bengals in the playoffs. That is a fact.
It's true. That is currently a fact. Yes.
It is currently a fact. I don't think he ever will. Ever.
I can't wait to see the Bills in the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
Just because of this moment.
We're gonna point big red arrows to this moment right here.
Well-
This is his bold take.
Yeah, Josh Allen will never beat the Chiefs or the Bengals in his NFL career.
No,
In
your
the
bold
playoffs.
take was he'll
In the
never make a
playoffs.
Super Bowl.
That too. Sure, yeah. Josh Allen will never make a Super Bowl.
All right,
Ever.
mark it down. October 17th.
Yep. 2023. Yeah, I guess we talked about the Chiefs a little bit, but the AFC West is starting to get a little bit better, maybe, with the Chargers starting to potentially heat up. Actually, no, wait, they lost. Shit.
They lost.
Yeah. Never mind. Yeah, the AFC West.
I
is
really
kinda-
hated rooting for the Cowboys, but I kind of had to.
Yeah, the AFC
I
West
was more
is...
rooting against the Chargers.
It's kind of a disaster, huh? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of awesome and then nobody. We just gotta
Yeah.
take care of business. And
For now, I mean, it is only, week 6?
I mean, second place is the Raiders, and that's the team I have the least amount of confidence in, probably.
I mean, they're what? They're all tied?
I mean, no.
The 3-3, 2-3? I mean, that's...
3-3, 2-3, and then 1-5, because poor Russ.
Yeah, I mean, the Broncos, we all
Yeah.
knew what they were going to be.
I mean, not ESPN.
Yeah. You know, they were just a quarterback away. Then they were just a coach away.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Now they're just a complete rebuild away.
Yeah,
They're just a complete defense away.
Yeah. Ugh. And the Chargers, I'm convinced, the only reason the Chargers are as bad as they are is because the head coach is just absolutely awful. One of the worst, one of the worst head coaches in the league. Brandon Staley is absolutely terrible. He's atrocious. Honestly, same with the Raiders. Josh McDaniels is also absolutely awful. Terrible at his job. Should get fired.
They went from
And
one
fuck
quarterback
it,
I had
while we're
absolutely
here,
zero faith in.
Throw Sean Payton into the mix. All three of them, absolute garbage. Just absolute fucking terrible. Just shit. Just absolute shit. Andy Reid is the only good head coach in the AFC West. It's crazy.
Well, Burke, I kind of want to ask you, I mean, shifting away from football, I guess, since the NBA is right around the corner, I want your way too early NBA finals. I just want the finals.
Just the finals?
We all know one team.
Who's going to play who?
Who's going to play the Celtics?
Yeah.
You mean who's gonna play the Bucks?
Nah, we're better than the Bucks.
We're better than
We're better than the Bucks, bro. They don't want one then. No, it's gonna be Celtics or Bucks for sure. I'm gonna go Celtics just because I mean it's really close between the two, and I'm gonna put my little bit of bias in there. As far as the West goes, it's
Just
hard to
send
say
up
the
a-
Nuggets won't. It's hard to say the Nuggets won't make it. But I really want it won't be the Thunder if that's what you want me to say. I want it to be the Thunder.
Hey, the Thunder are beating the Bucks right now, preseason.
I want it to be the Thunder. It won't be the Thunder.
Gonna
But
be
I
the
do
Clippers.
think the Thunder could take a Sacramento Kings level jump to where they're maybe like a top 4 seed this year, and then they lose in like the second round. But the Clippers
Kobe Brown
maybe,
is gonna say, "Step aside, Kawhi. Step aside, Paul. This is my team."
Kobe Brown might get a lot
He's
of
gonna
minutes
take over.
because Kawhi's going to miss 60 games this year, so Kobe Brown might get a lot of minutes. No, I think the Clippers could be solid, but I mean it's hard to pick against the Nuggets right now. The Nuggets are so solid. They didn't really lose anybody as far as I know, and they were the clear-cut best team when the playoffs rolled around last year. So I guess if I had to pick right now, I'd go Celtics Nuggets. That's a pretty boring pick probably because that's probably like the second most common after Bucks and Nuggets, I'm sure, being more popular. But yeah, that's probably who I'd have is Celtics Nuggets. And then I'd like to say we win in 6, but I could see us losing in 7. But let me go ahead and pull up a random sports.
Right. Mark it. Celtics don't even make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's gonna be Thunder and Bucks.
Thunder
He
and
said
Bucks.
it won't be the Thunder.
All right. So, we'll wrap up the first edition of Swivel Chair Sports in the last 6 months or so. It's been about half a year since we've done one of these, but let me pull up a random sports fact of the week. Japan is home to the world's largest bowling alley. The Inazawa Bowling Center in Japan, opened in 1972, has 116 lanes. You probably won't have to wait to throw those gutter balls. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a solid sports fact.
Yeah. Well, that'll do it here for us at Swivel Chair Sports. I've been your host, Zach Circleberg Burkle, with my co-host today, Aaron and Siege. Go ahead and say bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Later.
And that'll do it. Bye!